So I keep telling myself I'm going to do more of these comic book reviews or comic storyline reviews, and for some reason I just don't. I've only done a few, but I'm always reading comics, same way as I'm always watching movies and always reading books, and I review all those. So why the hell not, right? I really want to start. I really want to start doing this. Anyway, this week I finished the City of Bane storyline from Tom King's Batman run. With Tony S. Daniel doing the art. And the first thing I want to say is the art is incredible. Incredible in this book. So I got the trade paperback. It collects, I don't know what volume that is, but whenever Tom King was writing Batman, issues 75 through 85, I believe. And then it also tagged on Batman Annual for that year. So the art in this thing is, oh man, it definitely invokes like 90s artwork. That was the first thing that stuck out to me and probably why I grabbed it. I've always loved the character of Bane. Just that iconic imagery of Bane breaking Batman's back, just the overly muscled maniac crushing Batman, from the 90s. And this definitely invokes that and kind of brings that storyline into like a modern Batman story. I could not get it. Just the cover art, I was like, oh my god, this looks like it's straight out of my childhood, even though it was written in 2019, 2020. Tony S. Daniel, he just captures the essence of Bane and of that 90s version of Bane so well in this storyline. I'm like, dude, I want to find more Tony S. Daniel stuff just to revel in the beauty that his artwork is. Not only did Bane look, like classic Bane, right? Like the Bane I want to see. Selina Kyle was the most attractive Selina Kyle I think I've ever seen. In comic, in live action, in animated form. I was like, wow, is she a looker in this? Like, I couldn't believe it. Fantastic artwork. Fantastic artwork. If you haven't checked this out, I mean, for the artwork alone, it's worth checking out. This story wasn't perfect, but I've got to say, overall, I enjoyed it very much. I'll touch on the stuff that maybe didn't work for me as we get into it here, but overall, it was an enjoyable read. And the artwork definitely helped. Now, in this storyline, Bane has taken over the city, and anyone who's seen The Dark Knight Rises will think, this definitely pulls a little bit of storyline from that, right? In this story, Bane has taken over the city after defeating Batman. Batman is nowhere to be found. He's somewhere overseas recovering with the help of Selina Kyle. And Bane has now outlawed superheroes, so kicked all the superheroes out of Gotham, and basically it's very similar to the Dark Knight Rises storyline in the sense that he has control of the city. The government won't move in because they're afraid of what he'll do. And also, over time, everyone, not just outside of Gotham, but even inside of Gotham, the citizenry, starts to notice that, overall crime is down. Like, things are a lot more in order with Bane in charge. And it's kind of a wild storyline because when it first starts out, it starts out with you seeing these villains like enforcing the law. Like, what the hell's going on here? I think it's like, I believe it was Joker and Riddler were like cops, right? They were like deputized. They were out like patrolling the streets, and one of the reasons that like crime is down is because the criminals are in charge. Like, who's to say what's crime? Only the crimes that they want to be committed are being committed. Anyway, great. I mean, it's a great idea for a story in general. That's why it was used for Dark Knight Rises. You know, that's why it worked so well even in this storyline. An absent Batman, and that's one of the things about this too, is like Batman is not in Gotham for like 90% of this story. It's basically like, you know, the second 2/3 of Dark Knight Rises. Batman is recovering somewhere else, but the big difference here is that he's got the help of Selina Kyle. She's there with him. She's bringing him back from the brink, not only physically training with him and stuff like that, but, you know, reminding him of who he is and bringing back his confidence and building him up. And that was probably one of the best parts of the story, is the Bat and Cat dynamic and the furthering of their relationship, and just admitting to each other that they were in love with one another and wanted to be together. And you know, Batman, Bruce Wayne, realizing that he could be happy and be with Selina. And I don't know, because I haven't read like the wedding of Batman and Catwoman storyline. I'm guessing that happens shortly after this, because in this story they basically decide they're going to get married. But it was great. It was a great dynamic. Like, you know, Bruce Wayne / Batman healing physically, mentally, spiritually, what have you, with Selina Kyle at his side, and their romantic relationship going from like a, you know, will we or won't we, do we admit these feelings to one another like fully, could we ever have a relationship, to like full on, you know what, fuck it, we deserve to be happy. And them returning to Gotham to take the city back. Now, another cool dynamic of this, and some people might not agree that this is cool, and it actually is some of the issues that I ran into with the story, is that, you know, this otherworld version of Batman, who is actually Bruce Wayne's father, Thomas Wayne. If you read Flashpoint or seen the Flashpoint Paradox animated film, then you're familiar with this. You know, there's another world where Thomas Wayne is Batman and Bruce Wayne died. And Martha Wayne becomes that world's version of the Joker, because she goes mad after seeing her son murdered. And it's kind of wild. I mean, it's a wild storyline. That part of it, at least, you know, with the other world version somehow in this world, right? I don't know how the world's got, because I didn't read the Tom King run before this. I don't know how this happened, that there's like an other world version of Batman in this world, but that is what it is. He's there, he is the acting Batman, but he's like, you know, if you've seen Flashpoint Paradox or read Flashpoint, then you know that he is a no-holds-barred, kind of all vengeance, no rules Batman. He kills people, he's kind of sinister, cynical, not like the Batman. He doesn't have the rules and the constraints that our version of Batman has. And so this is an issue, right? So not only when Batman and Catwoman return to Gotham, not only do they have to face Bane, but they also have to deal with this sinister version of Batman, who also happens to be Bruce's long-dead father. So it's definitely got layers. And I enjoyed that about it. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, overall, very enjoyable story. The problems that I ran into in this storyline were, I don't know which book it was in specifically, because I read it all at once, but at some point, they're going panel to panel, and they're showing us different realities. They're showing us stuff that Thomas Wayne went through, and they're showing us stuff that he's going through currently and stuff that Bruce Wayne went through. And it's like, I've got to say, it's very confusing. It's too much to do it that quickly. I get it, like creatively, I get what they were doing, but story-wise, it does not flow at all. And it really just kind of took me out of the story, because it's like, okay, so what's really happening right now? And what does that have to do with like what happened in the Otherworld version of the story, or in the past? You don't know if it's like, was it like an alternate version of what's happening now, or was it far in the past? And it does this literally panel to panel. Like it'd be like an 8-panel page, and it's like on the left is what's happening right now, and on the right, the next panel, it's something that happened to Thomas Wayne years ago in another universe. And it's just really, it's too much. It's too much for the reader, or at least it was too much for me. Maybe I'm just not well read enough or well comic booked enough to appreciate what it was. But like I said, I appreciate what they were doing, but it didn't work for me. Not for this story. And maybe I would be served by reading the stuff that came before and how Thomas Wayne got into this universe, etc. Anyway, that was the one part of the story that really didn't work for me. The rest of it was really great. I love how it pans out. I love how it plays out in the end. I love the final battle with Bane. How Batman realizes he can depend on others to help him, and that he doesn't have to take on the world by himself. Yeah, that's kind of like antithetical to like what the Batman story is. But, you know, what are you going to do? Just one lone crusader forever, over and over, rehashing the same storylines? Or are you going to have the character develop and change? And I think this, if he's going to develop and change in any way, this is a way that I enjoyed seeing. I enjoyed seeing him admit his love for Selina, for them to really embrace that. And they basically, during his recovery, were like on this like kind of romantic getaway together all at the same time. And it just brought them closer together, and they realized that they just, you know, they're going to be together, and they decided that they were going to get married. So, like I said, overall for the Bat and Cat storyline, for the Bane storyline, for the artwork, and even for the Thomas Wayne stuff, minus that weird hopping back and forth to different timelines for no apparent reason, maybe just artistically, it was a choice. It was definitely a choice. Minus that, I enjoyed everything about this book, and I highly recommend it to anyone who is a Bane fan, anyone who is a Batman Otherworlds or Elseworlds fan, and anyone who likes seeing the Bat and the Cat and that dynamic. I really enjoyed it. So I'd love to hear what you guys thought of it. I've heard mixed reviews on it so far, but I'd love to hear what you thought of this storyline, and also what you think of me reviewing comic books on this channel. I'd like to do more of it, but I would also like for there to be an interest in it. So let me know what you think about the storyline. Let me know what you think about my review. And if you enjoyed the review, please give it that thumbs up, give it a like. And if you like stuff like this, where I talk about pop culture, entertainment, comic books, movies, series, that kind of stuff, then please subscribe to the channel. And if you do decide to stick around and either subscribe to the YouTube channel or favorite or follow the Daily BS podcast, then I will talk to you all again very soon. Thanks.